Hey there, Nicole Frost of Frost Yarn, and I am so excited to finally be ready to launch my space collection. I started production on this in end of March, beginning of April, so I had no idea that the Hubble telescope was releasing anything. In fact, I had seen this amazing article, which I'm going to link below in the description, and I decided I wanted to create a spinner's box with one of every type of nebula in this article. So first we're going to start with the Emission nebula, and they are named because they emit their own light. This type of nebula forms when an intense radiation of stars within or near the nebula energizes the gas, and that bat set looks like this. Now, what I think is cool about this particular box of fiber you're going to get, or yarn, the yarn will be at the end, so skip ahead if you want to see that, is that I have a solid shade bat with tweed to represent the stars, and then I have an ombre bat that's its match with just silk, no tweed. So you can ply them together or you can make them into a larger piece. Each bat is approximately 50 grams. Some of them are a little over, some are a little under. Next, we have the Reflection Nebula. It reflects light from the nearby stars. The stars that illuminate them aren't powerful enough to ionize the nebula's gas, as with the Emission Nebula, but their light scatters through the gas and dust, causing it to glow like a flashlight beam shining through the mist in the dark. And that set looks like this. The next one is Planetary Nebula. When astronomers looked through the sky through early telescopes, they found many indistinct cloudy forms. They called such objects nebula, Latin for clouds. Some of the fuzzy objects resembled planets, and these earned the nickname Planetary Nebula. Today, these nebula keep the same name, but we know they have nothing to do with planets. Planetary nebula formed during the death of low mass to medium mass stars. This one's my favorite, supernova remnants. Not all stars die gently, exhaling their outer layers into space. Some explode into a supernova, flinging their contents into space at anywhere from 9,000 to 25,000 miles per second. When a star has a lot of mass, at least 5 times that of our sun, or is part of a binary system in which a white dwarf star can gravitationally pull mass from a companion star, it can explode with the brightness of 10 billion suns. And finally, Absorption Nebula. Absorption nebula or dark nebula are clouds of gas and dust that don't emit or reflect light, but block light coming from behind them. These nebula tend to contain large amounts of dust, which allows them to absorb visible light from stars or nebula beyond them. And finally, the yarn. This is a cashmerino gradient. And it is based on this nebula. And it also comes with those adorable little handmade stitch markers. And some other space themed stuff that I want to keep as a surprise, but the whole box is space. So that particular one, each mini is 25 grams and there's 9 of them. So for 225 grams or approximately 940 yards, and it is just delicious, beautiful, rich, and it's going to knit up like magic. So if you want to shop the collection, it's in my shop now. It'll take me about a week to card and cut the gradients, so they will ship August 1st, the week of August 1st. Nicole from the future popping in. I forgot to mention what I love most about the way I built this gradient is that the color goes from that bright aqua into the lavender and then into the darkest purple. So the gradient color goes one direction, but the pops of color, the stars, they go in the opposite direction. So you have a mass concentration of 12 stitches or 12 resists per repeat with 1 stitch pops of color that glow under black light. And then it goes to 10 and then 8 and then 6, 5, 4, 3, and 2. So the stars fade out at the edges just like a real nebula does.